Have you heard the word on the street about tolerance breaks? It's not generally a desired topic of conversation, but it's an important one. So, tolerance breaks are what we do when our receptors get too plugged up with THC. So, let me explain a little bit more about that. So, when we take THC into our bodies, it goes into the receptors in our endocannabinoid system. If you don't know what the endocannabinoid system is, be sure to join my next Intro to Cannabis webinar, where we go through and talk about the endocannabinoid system and the receptors and how they work. But it's important to know in dealing with a tolerance break is that when THC is used in high doses over a long period of time, it can begin to clog the receptors in our endocannabinoid system. And those receptors tend to hide, or they like withdrawal into the cells, and so therefore THC is not able to reach the receptors and get into them as easily as they would a fresh, brand new receptor. And so we want to look at doing tolerance breaks every once in a while to clear those receptors so that our THC amounts don't have to keep going up. So it's not harmful to keep taking more and more THC based on what your tolerance is built up with, but it's expensive and you don't need to use that much medicine if a smaller amount will do. So it's important to keep track of what's happening in your cannabis regime. So if you're noticing that the dose of THC that usually works for you starts not working and you need to increase your dose continuously, then that's when you might need to do a tolerance break. So a tolerance break can be 1 to 2 days, all the way up to a month, or 28 days to a month long, depending on how long you've been using cannabis and how much of a break your body really needs. So to prevent us from having to do that big long tolerance break, we can do small tolerance breaks along the way to make it a little bit easier. So if you're microdosing and using cannabis every week, you might want every day during the week, you might want to take a day a week break and help to lower that tolerance amount. So that could be Tuesdays. Tuesdays is tolerance break day. So you don't take any THC on Tuesdays, but you can still keep using your CBD, and that will really help to keep that tolerance low to your THC. You can also take a week every 3 months. So just put it into your schedule, and a week every 3 months, you're taking that time away from THC, but not CBD. You can keep doing your CBD. And then if you're really gung-ho and you're like, I just want to completely start over from scratch and I want to completely clear my receptors, then you can do 28 days to a month of no THC. When you're using cannabis medicinally, it's hard. It's not easy to take a break from the medicine that works for you, and I totally understand. So what I tend to do is do those smaller breaks, like a day at a time. I don't do much longer than that. And also, when you are planning for your tolerance break, make sure it's in a time that's not too stressful for you and not a lot's going on, so that you can take care of yourself, because you're not going to have the THC on board to be able to help manage the symptoms that you normally would. So you might have more issues with sleeping or with pain or with anxiety. So be prepared for how your body is going to respond when you're not on THC, and take it easy. Up your self-care. Take some walks, do some baths, and keep using CBD. So you can still keep using the benefits of CBD. You don't build a tolerance with CBD, so you can keep using that and getting the benefits of that. So once you're ready to start back, if you've taken a fair bit of time away from THC, remember to start low. So the whole purpose of doing a tolerance break was to get your receptors back to zero again. And we want to start introducing cannabis again slowly at low doses. So work on microdosing as opposed to just going, woohoo, set time for celebration, I'm back on THC, and you go right up to your high dose again. Now start low. Start with a 2.5 milligram THC dose and see how that goes, and increase as you need to as the days go on, so that you get to that perfect level for you. It's nice not to have to go back up to where you were before, so you kind of get a fresh start. If you are interested in doing a tolerance break and you need some support, do drop me a line, check into my website, Terese.ca, TERESE.ca, and we can get you going on your tolerance break. Also good to have a buddy for your tolerance break. Find somebody who you can keep in touch with, and when things get rough, you can say, I just need some THC, and find someone who can support you through that. Have a great day.